Recording. Okay, just a reminder from now on, all late and missing work due the Friday of each week. Okay, fourth quarter policy. All right.
What about if you get it on that Friday?
It's due, like, that's, it gets all, that counts for Mondays. Thursday, you need to turn it in by Friday. Okay.
So you can't have no late work Thursday.
Right. Basically what I'm saying. There are exceptions to every rule, but basically, yeah. Okay. So this is a large packet, but again, you guys don't have to, yes.
I'm not starting until I got some.
I gave you a pen. I know. I would rather have an eraser to use for math. Okay, so I know this is a lot of problems. There's actually 25 of them. Okay, there's 25 problems here. Robert, remember how you said you're not going to hear my voice? I'm going to be quiet while I'm instructing. Okay, I'm going to have 25 problems. And I know that's a lot, but I want you to have all of them because I want you to spend a little bit each day because you're not going to see me again till Thursday. So you should spend some time each day working on this. Don't try to do this all in one day. Make your goal something like, okay, so we've got 25 and you've got tonight, 1, 2, 3. You've got 3 days to do this. So that's 8 or 9, depending, problems a day. Okay, so maybe your goal today is I'm going to do a lot today. I'm going to finish 10 problems, the whole front page. Okay, and then, you know, like if you divided this up into this is 1 day, this is 2 days, and then this front and back is another day, you're set. Okay, so we're going to do number 1 together. For ABC, find C to the nearest hundredth. Now, for me personally, there is not enough room. Like some of you have really tiny handwriting, and that's fine. But me personally, I'm just going to write the answers on this page, and I'm going to do the work on a separate page. Okay? But I'm going to make sure to attach my work so I know you didn't just cheat. Okay? All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is A, little a, B, little b, C, little c, and I need to find C. So I want to use C. And B doesn't have anything with it, but A has an angle and a side. So I'm going to use A. Okay? So I'm going to say sine of A over little a equals sine C over little c. Now you do not have to write this every time. I like to write it so I know what numbers I'm going to plug in so I don't get confused. I am doing one of your homework problems, so everybody should be writing this down as I'm writing it down. Okay? So now I'm going to go sine of 77 over 15 equals sine of 23 over C. C is what I don't know. Okay? So anybody remember from Friday what I do next? Okay, I've got everything plugged in. What do I do next? Cross multiply. Good. Okay. So I end up with cross multiplying. I get C sine 77 equals 15 sine 23. Yeah. Okay. Now I need to get C all by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by sine of 77. Okay. And then I plug just this into my calculator and I'm finished. Control divide.
Shows how to do it. Shows how to do it.
Okay, I did once, but I'll do it again. I hit control divide, and then I'm going to hit 15 sine 23, and I use my arrow button to move it down, and I hit sine, so I hit the trig button, sine 77. And I get 6.02. I'm going to round it up as because I get 6.015, so I'm going to round it up to 6.02. And I'm done. That's it. That's the whole problem.
You said you control.
Divide. And then hit 15, trig button, pick sign 23. Use the arrow to move down, yep. And then trig, sign 77. 6.02 is our answer. Okay. Now, this is a little bit more difficult, and I do want to show you this because you're going to be home most of the time that you do these. It's a little bit of extra work when you do it on your phone calculator. So I recommend using Desmos if you've got a computer at home, because then you can get on and use their graphing calculator. But again, if you can't, if you don't have a computer at home or can't use it, you can still do this. I go to this is my iPhone, and for my iPhone, I simply turn it sideways to switch here. Okay, I make sure to push my degree button at the bottom, so there shouldn't be anything up here that says radians. Shh. And then I'm going to start, I have to do this in parts. I have to do it in 2 parts, so it just takes a little extra time. I'm going to hit 77, and then I hit the sign button. And so I have to write down 0.9744. And then for the top, I'm going to do it backwards. I hit 23, sign, and then I times that by 15. And I get 5.86. And then I take 5.86, whatever it is, and I divide it by 0.9744. And I get my 6.0. So I'm going to go through that again because it's a little bit of steps. Just to be clear. Shh.
Go a little bit slower too.
Yeah. Okay. So in your phone, you hit 77, then you hit sign. Gentlemen, if you could be quiet, please, that would be great.
So you put that on the bottom.
And then you put that on the bottom. That goes right here. And then for the top, you hit 23, sign, times 15, and you put that right here. Then you just divide them. So it's just 3 steps instead of 1 to put in your calculator. Okay? And that's for number 1. So for number 1, we get 6.02. Okay? All right, I would like to do one where it's an angle and then 1 word problem, and then I'm done going over this, and I'm going to give you the rest of the time in class to work on it, okay? But I want to do 1 with an angle because there's 1 extra step with an angle. So right here, I'm going to do number 2. Okay? Number 2, at first I set it up the same way. I know I'm going to use these. This is little c, little a, little b. I'm going to have to use c because it has an angle and a side, and I want to find angle b. So I'm going to use sine b over little b equals sine c over little c. This is the only step I can say that you should really choose to exclude or not. You can pick. Okay? So I'm going to go sine b over 22 equals sine 48 over 63. Okay? And then I am going to cross multiply. 63 sine b equals 22 sine 48. I'm going to divide by 63. So I don't take the sign with me if the number's in front. If the number's behind it, I can take both. So if you look over here, see how this sign of 77, the 777 was after sign? That's why you can divide it and bring the sign with you. This 63 is before sign, so I can't. So I just got to bring the 63. So I end up with sine b equals, and I stick this in my calculator. And I go 22 sine 48 over 63. And I get 0.2595. Okay? My last step is I have to get rid of that sign because I have to have b all by itself. So this is where I take, like the -1. We're finding an angle, right? Just like we just did sine, cosine, and tangent trig stuff. When we used the -1, it was to find an angle. Well, we're finding an angle. So B equals the inverse sine of 0.2595. So I simply hit trig, inverse sine 0.2595. And I get B equals 15.04, and I'm done. That's degrees. Okay? Sometimes, like for number 2 up here, the directions say round to the nearest whole number, so that would just be 15. So B equals 15 degrees. And you're done. Questions about that?
No.
Okay, let's go to one word problem, and then I'll let you guys work. Okay, I am going to say this. For the sake of fitting it all in on this packet, these do not have pictures, 11 through 16. I recommend you draw it out. It'll help. Okay? All right, let's do number 21. All right, we want to find the height of this building to the nearest foot, right here. Okay, the thing about this is we're going to have to do 2 steps. One, I'm going to have to use law of sines, and then I'm going to have to use trig to find it out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find this side right here. Well, I only have one angle. I'm going to have to find more. This adds up to how many right here at the bottom? 180. So I'm going to go 180 minus 48 gives me this angle right here, which is 132. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to find this angle right here. So I'm going to go 180 minus 132 minus 35. Because the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. Okay. Now, I want to find this.
What is that? What is that, 180 or 18?
This is 180.
What's that up here?
13 degrees. Okay. So I'm going to use 13 degrees and the side across from it 150. And I'm going to use 135. I'm going to use 35 and x. So I'm going to say sine of 13 over 150 equals sine of 35 over x. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in. Now I'm just going to cross multiply. X sine 13 equals sine 35, 150 sine 35. Thank you. Okay, I have a question. Does the 13 come before or after the sine? So can I, when I divide, can I take it with me? Yes. If it was in front, could I?
No.
Good. So I'm going to put this in my calculator. 150 sine 35 divided by sine, divided by sine of 13, and I get 382.47. Now that's this right here. That's my hypotenuse. So now I've got, this is my opposite, this is my hypotenuse. I'm going to use tan. So I'm going to say tan of 48 equals opposite y over hypotenuse x, 382.47. 382.47 times tan of 48 equals y. I got to put that in my calculator and I'm finished. So 382.47, trig button tan, 48 is 424.77 feet. Okay? So I've done one to find a side, one to find an angle, and one word problem. When you do this in your calculator, you can just put this in, just make sure you hit Control Divide to make it set up correctly. Now remember, if you put this in your calculator, you just have to work backwards. Make sure you push the number first before a sign if you're using an iPhone. I think it's a little bit different if you're using an Android. Okay? If you have questions, let me know. But you have the rest of the hour to work on this.